just the way Curly comes in at the beginning of Oklahoma as he's walking. That's why I was going to ask Tina Kaplan if she can make corn stalks last night. That's an inside joke from our synagogue where I would ask Tina to make scenery at the last minute. Thank you. Anyway, wow. So what a transition. So Rodgers and Hart have been writing since the early 20s, and now it's 1943. Hart is still alive, and they hadn't written a really big hit show though in a little while. And an offer comes through for Rodgers and Hart to write an adaptation of a book called Green Grow the Lilacs. And Rodgers asks Hart to work on the show with him, but Hart doesn't want to do it. Rodgers goes to have a meeting with his old friend, Oscar Hammerstein II. And they've never worked together, but of course they knew each other all these years. And Oscar said, no, I don't want to do it. You're shocked, because of course he wrote it. But at first he said, try it with Larry, because if you don't try it, he's going to collapse. Because they all knew how bad Larry Hart was at that point with his drinking, etc. So he tried. Hart really didn't want to write it. So he went back to Oscar and said, let's do it. They wrote it. Come opening night, and this was another groundbreaking show for all the reasons that you certainly probably know about, integrating the stories with the song, integrating dance into a show, really having the music serve the plot, which is what Oscar and Richard really excelled in and created a whole new genre of Broadway show. Larry Hart actually comes to opening night, sees Oklahoma, and which didn't help him because it was such of course, a phenomenal success, and it probably only made him more depressed. But Richard Rodgers, being the loyal friend that he is to Larry Hart, decides to do a revival of one of their better shows, a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, which had been done earlier, and they did a revival of that with Larry Hart. Wrote a few new songs for it. Can You Do a Friend a Favor? Can't You Fall in Love with Me? Some really good stuff. And Hart comes to opening night and interrupts the show, screaming, getting loud. Opening night of the show, can you imagine? They have to actually usher him out of the theater. A couple of days later, he goes out in the middle of winter without his coat. And 2 days later, he's dead of pneumonia. I mean, I don't want to cheer you up too much, but it's that big a tragedy with Larry Hart. It's just, all of it just came and fell apart for the poor guy. But Richard Rodgers just goes on and on and on and on. So we're going to concentrate now on Rodgers and Hammerstein, and we're going to, for this part of the show, very different from the first half where we were doing songs, we're going to do these songs in context of the shows that they're in. So we're going to do Oklahoma, and we're going to follow that in order with Carousel. After that, we'll go into South Pacific, Hit, 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 and then finish with The King and I. So, and we're going to leave out Flower Drum Song, and we're leaving out Sound of Music, and we're leaving out Cinderella. So, because we only have 4 hours. That was beautiful. Thank you, Don, for entering just like Curly, and we continue with songs that just simply need no introduction. So I won't introduce it.